Hi, my name is Trudy Brookman. I am the owner of Trudy Brookman Attorneys, and I wanted to just share some thoughts with you related to how to brief an attorney. I know that most people, in fact me as well, have only engaged with an attorney maybe once in your life or maybe never. And I remember how intimidating it was for me the first time I was in a car accident and I had to go and see an attorney to institute a road accident fund claim for me. And I had been an attorney for, I don't know, over 10 years at that time, but I still found it a really intimidating experience. And I wasn't sure exactly what information I needed to give her and what I should leave off. So I thought, maybe let me record this video and give you an idea if you want to brief our firm, in other words, instruct us for the first time, ask us to assist you with a legal matter. Let me give you some tips on how to deal with it. The purpose of the tips are partly to make our lives easier, but making our lives easier makes your life cheaper. So it's a win-win. The idea is that I would help you to get an idea of what information we need right up front, how to approach the whole thing, and if you give us the right information in a consolidated way, in other words, you send us, for example, one email or a series of emails with all the relevant information, not excessive information, but just the important stuff, then that saves us a ton of time and effort, and enables us to quickly be able to figure out what type of matter you have, how we can assist you to figure out a strategy for you that is cost effective. And the quicker we're able to do that, the less we'll charge you, because we charge on a time basis. So the actual time spent reading, communicating with you, and thinking about the matter, and then drafting a document or an email to you, all of those things are what we charge for. So if it's a quick process for us, we're not reading unnecessary stuff, we're not needing to email you to ask you for information because you've already sent it all to us, all of that saves us time and saves you costs. So let me jump right in. First of all, this is an optional step, and we appreciate that you are not an expert on law, and that's why you're coming to us. But our firm specializes in consumer law, and that's quite broad. It deals with the supply of any goods or services to consumers, and it also covers things like timeshare, vacation ownership, schemes like share blocks and sectional title. We also assist with leases, landlords and tenants. We can assist, and we love doing wills, which we just do. It isn't part of consumer law, but we do it because we love it. And anti-nuptial contracts, those are such fun documents to draft. So if you approach us for one of those reasons or anything else you think that is within our field, what you want to do right up front is to check that we're the right type of attorney. So identify the nature of your matter if you can. So what that means is, are we dealing with a contract like a lease or a sale agreement? Are we dealing with a property dispute? Are we dealing with an employment related thing? And check that the law firm that you've approached is the right type of law firm. That said, feel free to contact us with any type of matter, and if it's not within our field of specialization, we would refer you on to experts in the field that we know and trust and can recommend. So don't hesitate to approach us. But at the same time, if you approach us knowing that you've got a consumer law matter or a timeshare related matter or something like that we do on a regular basis, you know that you've come to the right law firm. Secondly, then figure out, if you can, what type of, as I said, what type of matter you have. So if you can contact us, whether you call us on the phone or drop us an email. An email is usually better because it's just easier to set out facts in a chronological way or whatever in an email, and then you also have a nice record of the conversation. Tell us what type of a matter it is right up front. So say, dear Trudy, I have a problem with a contract. It's a lease. I have a dispute with my landlord. They're not paying back my deposit. Okay, then immediately I've got my correct category in my mind, and that really helps me to take the next steps that I need to do. Then, so first step is figure out that we are the right type of lawyers and feel free to call us to ask. Secondly, tell us what type of a matter it is. It's to do with a contract, it's to do with timeshare, it's to do with a defective vehicle that you've purchased, it's to do with a property that you've purchased, but now you've discovered that it's got issues. It's a car that you bought which turned out to be stolen, or whatever it is. Okay, so number one, figure out that we're the right type of law firm. Number two, tell us what type of matter it is, what type of legal issue you've got for us to do. I need a will, for example. I need an anti-nap. And then thirdly, tell us the story. So please provide us with a fairly comprehensive and please and honest, I know I don't need to say that to you, but rather include even the things that are against you right up front. As attorneys, we are there to evaluate all the facts, and even though some of the facts may be against your case, to find a solution for you. Also, we are obligated to hold every last thing that you as a client tell us perfectly confidential. So we're not going to blab about your the difficulties in your case. We are going to overcome the difficulties in your case. So be honest and upfront with us right up front. And we will do the same by saying to you, you've got a great case, or you've got a case which might be difficult. These are the difficulties, and these are the ways in which we can overcome them, so that we can have honest communication between us and right from the start, so that we don't discover stuff later on and then we will have to deal with it then, which might make it a little bit harder if we've already said X, Y, and Z in the beginning. All right, so the third thing is tell us the whole story, and then very importantly, if you can explain who is who in the zoo of your story. Tell us, I am the plaintiff in the case, and I've already issued summons, but I became unhappy with my previous attorney, or my previous attorney died, or whatever has happened. Please, will you take over? So tell us, I'm the plaintiff. There are two defendants. They are the landlord and the, I don't know, estate agent or whatever it is. And tell us their names, and please tell us your names in detail as well. Give us your full names, and then explain how the different role players fit together. Also explain whether you're acting in your personal capacity or whether you're representing a legal entity, for example, a private company, a closed corporation, a trust, etc. So if you are acting on behalf of a legal entity, in due course, we're going to ask you for a resolution or something similar from that organization, just to make sure that we are dealing with a person who is authorized. We're obligated to do that, legally speaking, and then obviously we don't want to go down a wrong rabbit hole, charge you money for it, and then it turns out, damn it, we should have had the correct trustee to deal with the matter instead. Then the all-important paperwork. Please, right up front, send us copies of all the relevant documents, or maybe if you prefer, you can set out the story in the first email, and then follow up with an email attaching documentation, or several emails if that's necessary. If there's already a court case, we will need all of the relevant court documents, for example, the summons, any letter of demand, the summons, the plea, any exceptions, etc., as the process has continued. And then if your dispute or your complaint relates to a contract, please definitely give us the contract, or if you don't have it, tell us where we can find it. And then we would also like to read all the relevant correspondence. I know that for some cases that have been coming on for a long time, there's a lot of correspondence. In that case, can you pick out the most important correspondence for the initial instruction? Maybe later on we'll ask for more. Then, very importantly, we need to know what is your goal with all of this. And if you don't have a clear goal, of course we can help you formulate. What are your options? What does the law allow you to claim? And then you can choose. This option is better for me than that option, and we can discuss the ups and the downsides of all of those. But if you have a clear idea right up front about the outcome you're hoping to achieve, please communicate that to us. For example, I want a refund. I want my vehicle to be fixed. I just want this contract cancelled. I don't care about getting my money back. I just want it out of my life, etc., etc. And then finally, let's talk a bit about money. Number one, if you can, clearly state what the monetary value of your claim is. Let me say that in normal English. I need to know how much money you want from the guy you're claiming from. Okay. If you can give me that in that initial email or the initial phone call, then I immediately know which strategy we're going to use and which forum. So if you come to me with $1.5 million rand, 1.5 million rand claim, then I know we're probably heading for the High Court, and I just need to work out which of the High Courts in the various provinces is going to be the relevant one. If you come to me with a 800 rand claim, I'm probably going to help you and not even charge you for it, but help you go to the local small claims court, or if it's a consumer claim, send you to an ombud or to your local consumer court, and we'll help you with all of that. But the strategy, depending on the monetary amount, is completely different. So please definitely tell us that up front. Even if you don't know the exact amount, say, Trudy, my claim is definitely over 100,000, or Trudy, I think my claim is about 1,500, but I haven't been able to work it out. It's definitely not going to be more than 3,000. Or whatever, just give me a ballpark so that we can get started there. Then we have a video on how to keep your fees down, which is on our website, www.broekman.co.za, and it's right at the bottom of the page. Take a look for it. It's me on the video again, wearing some pink jersey, I think, so you can't miss it. Check out that video, so that you can keep your legal fees as low as possible. If legal fees aren't really an issue for you, and you just want someone to deal with this problem for you, and how much it costs is less of an issue, also communicate that to us, and we can give you a more comprehensive service. Normally with consumers, we're very careful to not spend their money unnecessarily and ineffectively. If you feel what I want is peace of mind, and for you to deal with every side of the thing, then we can adjust our approach very much to assist you there. So do communicate with us about whether you want a Volkswagen or a Rolls-Royce type service. And then please try to form an idea of how much you're willing to spend on your matter in terms of legal fees before you need to pull the plug. Okay, and it really helps us to know beforehand. Trudy, I have a budget of so much, and if you communicate that to us, we will not take advantage of that. We're going to try and squeeze as much legal service out of that figure for you as possible. If you give us the figure, we can cut our coat to work with your budget. And then in terms of the amount that you're wanting to get out, for example, the refund you want, or the claim amount, the damages that you're claiming, think very carefully whether you would be willing to settle for a lower amount than that in order to finish to cap the legal fees. So if at some stage your legal fees have risen to level X, you wanted so much in legal fees, in damages, but if you can get so much in legal fee in damages and keep your legal fees up to here, then that might be a better option for you. So think carefully about the interrelationship of how much you're willing to spend on the legal costs. Legal work is very, very expensive, and then versus what your upside is, and whether you're willing to take something less of an upside by telling us, Trudy, I've had enough, I cannot go further, my legal fees are reaching that budget amount of mine. Now go to the other side and tell them we'll settle for 60% of my claim, 80% of my claim, or whatever is a comfort zone for you, or maybe a slightly uncomfortable zone, but something which is you can live with. Think about all of those things, and I hope this video has been useful and beneficial to you. We look very much forward to receiving your instructions.